Satellite images published, of course, indicate the possible reactivation of China's Lop Nur nuclear test facility in the remote Xinjiang autonomous region in the northwest of the country. Images that you can see on your screen appear to indicate that China may soon be in a position to conduct full-fledged nuclear tests or possibly subcritical nuclear explosions. Subcritical experiments simulate nuclear explosions by using chemical explosives. China, for its part, has dismissed the report, saying that it was quote-unquote clutching at shadows groundlessly, whipping up a China nuclear threat. Meanwhile, images, of course, from Lop Nur over the last few years show a process of upgrading the facility. Meanwhile, of course, I'd like to draw attention to these images itself that I have opened on my screen right over here. Now, what's interesting about Lop Nur is its location. You can see right here on your screens that it is about 2,192 kilometers from Beijing and about 1,790 kilometers from Delhi. This area that you can see is, of course, the Xinjiang province, which has been in discussion for quite a while, especially pertaining to China's activity in the region. Here you can see, in fact, satellite images. This is, of course, showing the small square highlighted on the left side of the screen showcases the possible nuclear device prep area. Zoom in, you can, of course, see China has been conducting certain digging activity and build-up activity in the region. On the right side, you can see a probable new underground test area. Right here, of course, China continuing with its build-ups. There are roads that are being constructed at the same time. Furthermore, taking you viewers through how exactly the build-up has looked over the years. On the 6th of April 2020, this image was in fact taken. It shows 5 shafts, of course, near the Lop Nur nuclear test base. These, of course, are crucial because it's these shafts that in fact house, the area where the tests will be taking place. And you can see towards the bottom of the screen, there is in fact a build-up of certain facilities in the area and certain roads that lead to this facility. Meanwhile, just a few months before the latter picture, the former picture that we just saw on April, which was clicked on April 2020, you have another picture on your screens from 14th February 2020. This shows the construction of an airbase in this area and, of course, a runway strip trying, of course, to provide access via air for, of course, other areas in China. Remember, Xinjiang is rather remote compared to the rest of China. Moving on to 18th August 2021, you can see possible stacked drill pipes, a large drill rig which is estimated to be about 90 feet tall. We can see, of course, a mud and slurry pond and a probable diesel generator that has been erected in the region. But this is not all. Now, hopping 2 years forward, 14th February 2023, what is interesting is a support base that has in fact been constructed. On the left side of the screen, of course, you can see a zoomed in image of the support base. It is called popularly as Malan. Meanwhile, on the right side of the screen, you can see further zoomed in images of this nuclear test base. Right here, you can see a lot of buildings have been constructed by China at the moment. A large amount of construction taking place on ground. So, of course, China still attempting to revive its nuclear facility. With us on the broadcast is Group Captain UK Devnath. Sir, thank you for joining us on NewsX. So what do you make, in fact, of China's recent endeavor to revive tests in the area? It was popularly used even back in 1964, but right now China enhancing its military aggression and looking back at conducting tests. Do you think it's a cause of concern for India?
Very, very grave development. Not only India, but world is worried about Xi Jinping's ambitious plans to make China a superpower. In fact, he wants to make China #1 superpower by 2049. it goes without saying that these Chinese activities are being condemned all over the world. Even Russia is worried because Russia knows that China is a country which may, in a great rush, in a great hurry to prove its power, may use these weapons against its enemies. If not USA, then maybe against Japan, maybe against Taiwan. What China wants is to build up its nuclear arsenal quickly, not only number wise but also quality wise. China, various agencies have given figures that probably say USA has about 5,300 plus nuclear weapons in its arsenal right now. So China is building up very rapidly. Till 2 years ago, it had just about 350 nuclear weapons, but today it is holding more than 500 nuclear weapons. And Xi Jinping has already given a statement in front of Communist Party China that he intends to build up more than 1,000 nuclear weapons in another 10 years. And China is distributing them evenly between its land-based nuclear arsenal, primarily on intercontinental ballistic missile mode, sea-based submarine launched nuclear weapons, and aircraft-based hypersonic rockets, which will deliver, if required, nuclear weapons at USA. Now, what China is trying to do with this new test at Lop Nur is probably trying to test a new type of detonator. Detonator is the device which initiates the nuclear process. So there is a lot of emphasis in all over the world. Militaries all over the world are trying to build smaller and smaller nuclear weapons with a higher nuclear yield. These smaller weapons are required because they have to be air launched or they have to be carried in a hypersonic missile. Hypersonic missile by design have a very small diameter, so they have to carry a small nuclear weapon. So China is very rapidly and aggressively moving in this direction. It will definitely will be a breach of say comprehensive global nuclear test treaty which was signed in 1996. Post 1996, none of the other countries like UK, France, or India have carried out any nuclear test. Even USA and USS are restricting their carrying out their trials only on computer simulated modules. So if China goes ahead with this nuclear testing or miniature nuclear testing at Lopnor, it will be a big violation of existing international rule-based global norms on nuclear testing. Yes.
Indeed, and we also have Colonel J.S. Sodhi with us on the broadcast. Good afternoon, sir, and thank you for joining us on NewsX. Of course, I've taken our viewers through how exactly the build-up looks like. This is not something new. Apparently, China has been involved in revamping this nuclear test site since 2017. The report, in fact, indicates that it was an old site and a handful of buildings were there at that point of time. And of course, satellite images over the years show that it is turned into an ultra-modern complex, and security forces are of course on the ground. We've also seen, of course, how China is building an airstrip in the region. What do you make of, in fact, China's activities to revive this nuclear plant, and what do you think are the repercussions for the rest of the world?
Jayan Pia, it's my honor to be on a news channel and a privilege to be with Group Captain UK Devnath. Ever since China carried out its first nuclear test on 16th October 1964, till 1996 it has carried out 47 nuclear tests. Today, China has a nuclear arsenal of 500 nuclear weapons, and it is expected that by 2035 it will have over 1,000 nuclear weapons. On 8th July 2013, in an article in Win Vipu, which is a Chinese government newspaper published from Hong Kong, whose title was 6 Wars that China will fight the next 50 years. The first among these series of 6 wars is China's war with US over Taiwan. On this year, 3rd February, the director of CIA, William Burns, said in a statement that in 2027, China and USA will go to war over Taiwan. Thus, the war clouds between China and USA are getting darker and darker with each passing day, and this Chinese preparation for the next nuclear test is a clear indicator that China is going ahead with its aggressiveness and assertiveness over the world. In fact, when Xi Jinping and Joe Biden met in USA on 15 November this year, they had discussed that no artificial intelligence should be put in the nuclear weapons. But China, as we all know, never adheres to the global rules-based order, the global norm, the global treaties and the other accords. And hence, this nuclear test is actually a warning to the whole world and is a clear signal that the times ahead will be very tough and turbulent because of China.
All right, sir. With that, I would like to thank you as well as Group Captain Devnath for joining us on the broadcast, presenting your analysis and perspectives regarding developments taking place as far as our neighbours are concerned.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.